Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Personal Mastery Training. If it's your first time with me, here's how it goes. I do two episodes. I give you two flavors. One is a masterclass where I talk to influencers, authors, someone who is crushing it in their space. And I know success leaves clues. So I want to pick their brain and I'm going to share it with you. And I invite you to do the same because I don't want you, it's something I'm always saying, and I really want you to let this sink in. Your challenges, your life, I don't want you to get through it. Because if you get through it, it is a long, painful time. But if you get from it, whole different level. So that's what we're going to do today. And the second flavor that I offer you is today's session, a strategy session, where I pitch an idea to you and you dissect it and you journal on it. I would love it if you take some time away and journal, because that for me is me looking at my life from a 40,000 foot view, and I'm less emotional. I can see the lessons in there. So I encourage you to do two things, two tools of a mastery journey: your journaling and your meditation. All right. So today's session is called Bleed Less in Battle. I played with a lot of different titles on this because so many things inspired me to do this one. One, a quote I saw, and two, a person I'm working with right now. The quote I saw is this: the more you sweat in practice, the less you will bleed in battle. So true. Because if your practice is harder and you make it hard on yourself, your coach makes it hard on you, they push you. What outside, what on stage, what in the arena, what in the event can beat you, can defeat you when you have put the sweat, the blood, the tears in your practice? I mean, the competition will pale by comparison. The only time we experience imposter syndrome or we feel inadequate is when we haven't prepared enough. But when you've prepared so hard in your practice, you sweat so hard, there's no way the battle's going to be even more. The only thing that's going to change is the lights in the crowd. Otherwise, you're prepared and you're ready. So that's a quote that inspired me. The second one is a person I'm working with now. And it's interesting to watch her move from a life that's quiet and reserved and not always pushing her boundaries, not always pushing what she's capable of mentally, physically. However, lately, I'm watching her take on challenges and I'm watching her push herself and I'm watching her grow. And it's interesting as I'm watching her and she's giving me feedback on how she's pushing past her limits. She never knew she could do this much. She never knew she could do that. Getting up early, putting in the grind, doing the work. And I'm sitting back, I'm smiling with my wisdom because I've got about quarter of a century on her. Double her age, pretty much, a little bit over. But here's the thing, as I'm sitting and listening, I'm smiling. Why? Because I know she's gathering the tools she needs and she's going to be unstoppable. She doesn't realize it. I know she's a smart person, but she doesn't realize it. She doesn't realize that with every rep, every step, every early wake up, every push, I can see it. I can see it coming. I can see her getting better. I can see her building the intestinal fortitude she needs to push past future obstacles, future challenges as she grows and as she gets better and better. She's bleeding. She's sweating in practice right now because life is the battle. Life is the competition. And when she pushes, see, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're backing away from a challenge in the little parts of your life, guess what you're going to do? It gets easier to back away from a real challenge in life itself, whether it be the bills, the money, the relationship, the health. You're going to get challenged. Trust me on that. That's not a if, it's a when. And if you're not sweating in practice, sweating when no one's watching, sweating in those dull times, I've always said, the people who are successful, it's not sexy. It's not always sexy. It took decades for Usain Bolt to run his record run, 9.5. And now he's living the life of a legend. He's in the record books. But behind that is a whole bunch of unsexy, repetitive, boring work. But he pushed through. For the moment when the lights come up, he sweat in practice. He bled in practice. He cried in practice. So the battle, there will be no bloodshed in the battle when you do it in practice. So, what is it that you want? What is it? What edge are you not pushing through? You're made for so much more. I'm guarantee you'll never know your potential. Never. Underline that word. Bold it. Never know your potential. Because if I ask you to do 10 push-ups today and it seems hard, oh my God, are you kidding me? And you get to 10, you realize, oh, I can do 11. This is nothing. I have to get to 100. I asked you to run a marathon. You can even get to the mailbox. But you do it every day, consistently. Now you're doing light pulls. You're doing 4. You're doing a kilometer, a mile. And now a marathon is just on the horizon. See what I'm saying? You will never reach your potential. But here's the flip side of this. I want you to push your edges. Whenever you come up to a roadblock, because pain is mental. Pain is a mental thing. Yes, it can happen physically. You can break that ankle. You can injure yourself. You can sprain. However, recovery, what you do with that. How do you know what your edge is? How do you know what you can do? How would you like to live a life that you never checked yourself? You never checked what you were made of. You always got to the edge and backed away. What if you push beyond that? What's behind the curtain? What's behind your potential? What's behind those limits where you had a business deal and it didn't go right, but you quit too early? You had an opportunity and you got to the edge, knocked on the door, you get a couple of no's and you backed away. You wrote that manuscript. One person said no and you shut it down. I was coaching someone recently and they said, I knew when I took this person to the edge and it was time to go take it to the market. There was a internal excuse, there's a self-sabotage and a back away. And that was it. What if you push beyond that? What would you see if you were made of? Because I remember this quote long ago. It says, when I face my fear, that fear, and I overcome it, that fear now becomes the foundation of my new strength. So when you push through the ceiling and you step up, it now becomes your floor and you keep looking up. So I want you to bleed, sweat, cry in practice. So the battle, you'll bleed less in the real world, in the battle, the stage, your life. Bleed less in battle because you're going to put more sweat in your practice. See where your boundaries are. See where your edges are. Come on, it's time to test yourself. Let's go. Because life is the game. Life is the battle. And if you haven't been tested yet, it's coming. Trust me on that. All right. Take that away. Journal on that. Dissect that. Visit our website. Share, like, subscribe. Somebody you know might need this. Let's go. Let's build this community. Let's take this to that next level. Dissect that. Journal on it. I'd love that. And give me your feedback. Send me a message. Check me out on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. YouTube. My YouTube's going up very soon. Right now I'm doing this video. So anything I can do to get to you, to get in your mind, to help you to get from it and not through it. All right. Until next time. You know why I do this, man. I do this because I want me to be relentless about our pursuit for mastery. All right. Peace and love.